She want all my love. Ooh. She said she want all my love. She said she want all my love. She can get it. She can get it tonight. She said she want all my love.
Yeah. Hello. Wait a minute. Yeah. Get it tonight. Get it tonight. Get it tonight. She said she wanted. Hold on. She said give me your diamond ring. I can do that for you, babe. I can do that for your kid. Yeah, I'm not in the road. Baby, we take a ride.
Baby, you know you're my babe. We can have a lovely day. We can make
Leave this spark up.
Girl, you know you poison, but I pick you home for the bell. That girl is way too much.
Yo, how we sound? We straight. Yeah.
That girl is way too much. She said she want all my love. She can get it. She can get it tonight. She said she want all my love. She can get it. She can get it tonight. Get it tonight. Get it tonight. Get it tonight. Get it tonight.
Oh yeah, that's up.
Get it tonight.
Get it tonight. Oh, listen. I wanna feel like Lotto. She can be my big mama. I need a baby body. I thought we can simply really think I hit the light. Really think I hit the bottom. How much can I make a life? At home, you my only girl. We can go out every week. Just know you're not lonely, girl. Maybe I could give you the world. All the world. But you wanna break my heart. You're not the only girl. He said he wanna.
She said she want my love. She can get it. She can get it tonight.
Hey, yeah. W's in the chat. Oh, I need my soundboard, but there's not enough room. Actually, hold on. Are you straight? You just sit there and look ugly. Come on, dap me up. All right. Oh, I think I can plug my mic into my computer, actually. Oh, yeah, I can. Oh, shoot, I can't see comments. Yeah. Appreciate it. Oh, shoot. All right. So do the stream sound better than yesterday? Do the stream sound better than yesterday? Because I listened to it, the audio was clouded because of the mic I had, the mic I was using. I'm kind of dressed like Yo-Yo. That's Glaze. Never mind. That's Glaze. Hold on. Yeah, we sure. Hey, look what we got here. You don't be with Jay Money serving everybody. Yeah. That's the slow version though. That's a slow version of that song though. I got a whole nother version. They sound way faster than that. Yeah, another mic. A better one though. I got the cover for it in the room. You're late. You're late. You're late. We're gonna see what the muffler for this at. I appreciate you. Use your flashlight. Do yeah. Better on TikTok. He be voice acting too. Share it. Oh yeah. Make sure you share the stream. Oh yeah, we got another viewer. Never mind. Yeah. Never mind. Gotta buy you a new mic. Yeah. I can't even use this anyway. I feel like my voiceovers at least. Yeah. Make sure you share the live. Yeah, that's the exact one I need actually. Ooh, I wish that never broke. That looks so good. Stream should have been set up. Stream should have been set up. Don't tell me. Oh wait. I can put my headphones into this, can I? Hey. Oh, that. Oh. I'm gonna just move these two. It should be sure right there. Yeah. We all gonna yeah. I can't play that right now though. Never mind. We got a Milo strawberry lemonade. Wait, I got a Milo strawberry lemonade. Sweet. It's sweet tea lemonade. Oh, my fault. Yeah. Into that music demo. On what? What are you listening to it at? Which one? Oh. When I say music demo, I'm thinking of my voice demo. What demo? I don't be remembering that game. Voice demo. Okay. Dang, this shirt so I swear I ironed this shirt out earlier today. Yeah. There we go. So it is up. All right, everything's straight. All right. Okay, and this. Yo. All right, so the mic is working. All right, bet. This all should have been set up before I started streaming. I just never thought of this. Somebody who'll be watching my stuff. Yeah. All right, so really. Okay. Yeah. All right, so all this. What other box?
Looking on my phone.
Okay. I'm gonna finish reacting to those videos that I was supposed to do yesterday. I got so sidetracked. I yapped too much. Hey, no bull. I'm for real the first voice actor to start streaming though. Like, let's be real though. Let's be real. I'm really the first to do it. I feel like Soldier Boy. Hard output. Headset. Yeah. Headset. No. Headset. Don't get rid of VA for streaming. Boy, I ain't doing that. Absolutely not. Nah. Shoot, I'm finna mix the voice acting with the streaming. Oh, okay. Let's try to unplug this. Rat City, Rat City, Rat City, Rat City, Smell like shmoney. Smell like shmoney. What? Smell like shmoney. All right, then I gotta connect this to. So shoot, I gotta move everything over here. Okay, so do that. What about the stream? I bet. Output right. So now this plugged in. So yeah, I forgot how to turn it on. I done forgot how to turn this on. All right, so what mic is connected to it? Headphones built in. To the microphone. Ooh. All right, so there's nothing coming through though. That's the right mic. Oh, it's probably because it's not turned on. Duh. Oh, there it is. That's true. All right. Oh, I can hear everything. I think. I'm not sure. All right. So. I don't know if it's still. Yo. I don't know if it's still tripping or not. Oh, all right. I can hear it now, but still, it's iffy. Is that it? You. Ow. You. Yow! Is noise coming from this? I don't know if it's coming from the. Does this even need to be plugged up? I probably unplug this. Or I ain't gonna have no room. Yeah, I can't hear that no more. But is the mic connected? Which mic? I'm gonna see us in a minute. It's not my mic. Yeah, it's not coming from that. I don't know, bro. It's weird. There's a whole menu. Why am I not reading? Listen, we already 47 minutes in and I haven't done nothing. All right. Okay. Oh my God. One of my cords somewhere. I don't know. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. Yes, sir. Be straight. All right, there's one thing I need to know if. All right, so is the. All right, so I can't hear nothing. Yeah. All right, so if I play something here, right here. Bro, this computer has no, like, literally, I can put it in. I can't even use it. All right, hold on. All right, wait a minute. Trying to collab on stream. Look, I would, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm just starting, so. Oh, come on. No, he's all right. All right, there we go. Okay, this is the format. Okay. So we good? Yeah. All right. Good. All right. Okay. I don't know why that. I gotta fix this all before I start doing this.
The $5 Big Breakfast Deal is back at Wawa for a limited time. Get any Sizzly, any size, hot or iced coffee.
I ain't gonna lie, the
and
ads are crazy.
Development in a single video than any Vipsy Pop or Glitch production character has ever had.
Hack every shower. Strengthen and nourish your skin with the new Dove Men Body Wash.
I'm telling y'all, this video is so bad, bro. I can't stand it. First few minutes, and I got to click over.
We'd hit rock bottom within the animation. I thought people had finally acknowledged the problems with Vivian Medrano. People would stop. My God! But ever since I made that video, back when I reviewed,
All right. Full screen. All right. So, this. All right. Intro of Doom. Yeah. All right, what's up, YouTube? So this is my first ever second live stream that I'm doing on YouTube. So today we gonna be I'm gonna be finishing up some reacts that I didn't get to do last stream because I was yapping a bit too much. I ain't gonna lie. I was spitting a whole bunch of nothing, going on a whole random tangent. But today we gonna watch wrong screen. Hold on. Today we finna watch. I can't see the title. All right, hold on. We're in the indie animation dark ages. All right, so I don't believe it at all. First of all, I already think this video is wrong. So we got about like, can't even really count though. We got like a whole bunch of indie animation shows that almost everybody watches. If you know Has Been the Hotel, you probably gonna know Hell of a Boss. You probably gonna know Murder Drones, Glitch Productions. What is? The Amazing Digital Circus, Gaslight District. Some other ones. Okay. Ramshackle. And what else? So I can't remember off the top of my head, but if I see it, I know what it's going. I know what it is. But all right, we're just gonna get to react. 3, 2, 1. Level.
Back when I reviewed Has Been Hotel, I was very surprised at how much backlash I got. But ever since I made that video, it seems like things have become so much worse. I am so glad that the internet has come to the right side and agreeing that Has Been Hotel is absolutely terrible. And since Hell of a Boss Season 2 ended with what is probably the worst ending to any TV show I've ever seen, I really thought we'd...
First off, first off, you already started out the video glazing crazy. Not even we 20 seconds into the video, not even 1 minute, and we already hating to extreme extents. Hold on, this some Lex Luthor type of hating. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of people hate on Vipsy Pop for valid reasons. Not gonna lie, but the shows that she be making ain't that bad. I ain't gonna lie.
Hit rock bottom within the animation. I thought people had finally acknowledged the problems with Vivian Medrano, people would stop supporting Glitch Studios, and the world would finally start healing again. Then the Gaslight District came out. So before I start, I guess I should explain my full thoughts on Glitch Productions. Murder Drones is not very good.
All right. Is it not good, or you just can't comprehend? You just can't comprehend storytelling. Like, which one is it? Which one is it? Murder Drones? Murder Drones isn't good. I ain't gonna lie. All right, no bias. Even though I'm a Murder Drones glazer, no bias. Murder Drones is one of the best indie shows that I've watched since. Murder Drones is probably the best one. Nah, it doesn't even matter. Murder Drones is the best indie animation show that I've watched since any of them came out. I think Murder Drones is better than. Right. Well, I think Murder Drones is actually. I think TADC is kind of like a little bit above Murder Drones. But Murder Drones is like right there in second place for like absolute great writing, great characters. Nigga, nigga, my dog, bro. I ain't gonna lie, nigga, N is my favorite character. Nah, N my favorite character, no lie. Bro, he's so tough. He's tough. He like me for real. He like me for real. If I'm being real, he just like me for real. No glaze though, no bias though.
I tried watching it twice, but I could never understand what the show was about after episode 1. It's really hard to follow.
I mean, if you can't understand 45 seconds in, 45 seconds, I gotta stop pausing. If you just a little statement. If you can't understand the story of Murder Drones and you watch through it twice in a row, you watch through the whole show twice, you can't get the story. I don't think it's the story's fault that you can't comprehend what's going on. That might be crazy, but I don't think you can comprehend what's going on in the story. I think that's a you problem. I just think you can't comprehend storytelling.
Because all of the characters look alike and the plot never really made any sense. I almost felt bad, but then I realized that most fans could never tell you what it's about. Ask the viewers to explain the plot of the last few episodes and watch them shiver. The most you'll get is people saying, I like N. I like when he said the N-word and then murdered all the drones. Honestly, I think the reason the show is popular is because it's a masterpiece compared to Helluva Boss. In fact, I think the only reason Amazing Digital Circus got huge is because it released back when people started to turn on VipsyPop. This is back when that Written by VipsyPop meme started, which depicted Digital Circus as a more charismatic and favorable alternative to the crude and immature world of Helluva Boss, and it probably made people think that it was a lot better than it actually was. But Amazing Digital Circus
right now, bro. Are we serious?
Is whack. Besides the first episode, it's just filler. It looks like one of those animations where Freddy Fazbear, Minecraft, and Among Us are all playing Squid Game, except that at least those animations try to have fun with themselves, but Digital Circus never has any fun with its concept. It just coasts on its supposedly dark themes while playing lip service to things like people dealing with new bodies, or the world having weird physics, all the while giving you a bean of character development in every episode. The plot is just a huge mystery box, which I can't stand. Like, can this style of writing just die already? I really thought that after The Rise of Skywalker that we were over the J.J. Abrams mystery.
Alright, so my statement with that is you can't really compare the Amazing Digital Circus with Fazbear and Friends. Because one show is made for literal children. The other is made for teens and adults. You can't really expect a goofy story for a show for teens and adults. You can't expect a goofy setting and character interactions in a teen targeted and adult targeted audience show compared to a audience that's literally like very closely targeted to children, because those are very different demographics. You can't really compare the two because they're extremely different. Because one is literally considered an adult show, the other isn't. It's for all ages. So obviously the other one's going to talk about more serious topics than the other show. Yeah, that argument doesn't really make sense.
But it's like the main inspiration behind most shows nowadays. If a writer is smart, they will have their characters want to explore their strange world so that they naturally get clues that slowly piece together what's going on. But in this show, the characters just lounge around with zero curiosity of their surroundings until the last few episodes, where these writers have to suddenly come up with answers to these elementary school mysteries. What are their backstories? Does Ragatha have sex with Horse? What does CNA stand for? What?
So we just not gonna.
What could it all mean? CNA stands for Cain and Abel. Kinger is probably Abel. He made the circus, and Cain, meaning that the others are all NPCs. That's why there was no one at the computer at the end of episode 1. The first episode sits at over 300 million views, which I think makes it the most viewed episode of a show of all time. Yet absolutely nobody talks about it.
How to find the right car for you. Go to cars.com. Look at the car you like.
Ciao.
At least, nobody talks about it for its quality. You see people mention it.
No one talks about the Amazing Digital Circus for its quality. That's one of the things that most people talk about. The quality of the show. And then for you to say that the show itself isn't talked about is a very huge understatement. Just false. Saying all I love it false.
Every so often, the same way people bring up Lackadaisy, Murder Drones, or every other show. Not because they're good, but because they're indie animation. And that sucks. I really hate the way these shows rely on the goodwill of their fans in order to string them along with a story that will never be good. They just keep telling you that it'll pay off someday, only for it to be revealed that the writers never had any idea what they were doing.
It just sounds like you hate indie animation.
And now we arrive at Glitch Studios' most recent show, The Gaslight District. So to start, I want to say that I don't criticize indie animation the same way I do other shows. These shows are not easy to make, and they don't have the resources large productions do, which is why I prefer to analyze the parts that don't depend on money to be good. Like the writing. But with that being said, the animation for this show is basically incomprehensible. People keep saying it's the Spider-Verse style, but the reason that art style is impressive is because despite how cluttered it is, everything is perfectly clear. If you make a show look insane, but I can't tell what's going on, then where's the skill? On top of that, the animation for the show is really ugly. But Rafe, don't you know that that's on purpose? Well, yeah, I do like when shows get gross. True fans would know that I'm a huge fan of JoJo's, and that show is horrifying. But this show isn't gross in an interesting way. It's gross the way that Velma is gross. That show starts
comparing the Gaslight District to a show with full 2 seasons and horrible ratings. It's not nowhere close. You just compared a pilot to a series with 2 full seasons and horrible ratings. Stand down.
starts with cockroach sex. This show starts with a fly eating poop. The setting is gross for shock value, kind of like how Hazbin Hotel is gross because edgy hell Tumblr show. These shows keep trying to outcompete each other on who can be the most disgusting, violent, and crude, but now it's just become boring. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because the story is kind of impossible to follow with how crazy the visuals are, and it's really funny to see other people talk about how good this show is, even though they also have no idea what's going on. But to be fair, I think the reason the show is incomprehensible is because if you actually understood it, your brain would explode. So try to keep up here. This guy is Jack. Jack is running because he found out Mel is human and now the others want to kill him. But why doesn't Jack just tell the others that Mel is human? He could literally start shouting it in the street and he would win, but instead he just starts this stupid car chase. It's not until his lungs are crushed that he tries to say something, but not before shooting the crew and getting surprised that they're immortal, even though he should already know that because that's literally the point of this show. See, in this show, everyone is immortal, but not in a way that makes sense. We see people come back, but their injuries don't get fixed. So do they not need these parts anymore? I mean, Jack couldn't speak when his lungs got crushed, even though this is a world where you can talk with a hole in your head or being fully decapitated. Why did you even crush his lungs? Don't you want to find out who did this?
Why are we hunting Jack? Oh, what, Jack?
Apparently not.
If your goal is to silence him forever, why are you gonna drop him into the ocean where he can be rescued later? Why not encase him in cement? That's what I thought they meant when they said cement. Why not tear him to pieces? Why not use
chemical disincorporation?
Rafe, stop talking so much about plot holes. This show is about the characters, not the plot. I mean, that's what I've been doing, but sure.
No one's saying that. No one's ever saying that. All right, so about that whole tangent, the story, the plot of Gaslight District is very easy to follow. Very easy to follow. If you can't follow the plot of Gaslight District, your temple is not working correctly. Just saying. I ain't gonna just saying. Because it's just the story of Gaslight District, isn't it just like human here, supposed to be dead, human in an undead world where people can't die. She is the only human in the underworld. Correct? Correct? Follow me here. I gotta prove a point. Follow me here. Male is trying to not get found out as a human because the Rotlings don't like humans because they come from heaven. And angels are bad, right? But Mel isn't like them. So if they kill an egg, it's not a human egg, because she is the human egg. She's the prophesized human egg. If they kill the egg in heaven, because it has black blood, it will make people think that is the actual human, which gets them off their back. So that's the whole plot of Gaslight District. Now, in the beginning when he was talking about why Johnny, whatever his name was, didn't say it flat out, because that wouldn't have the episode would have been 2 minutes. It would have been 2 minutes of an episode. Plot holes exist for a reason. In everything you watch, there's plot holes. It's like nitpicking. It's very much nitpicking.
I'll play your game. The show follows 4 characters: Kenny, Mud, Breadhead, and
Melancholy.
If there was an algorithm that took in every indie animated character, you would get Mel. In fact, here's a guide on how to create your own original indie character. First, draw these big, huge, crazy eyes. Then next, give them like a psychopath smile with pointy teeth. Then give them a quirky personality. Then make them a lesbian or something. I don't know. So Mel's goal in this episode is to hide the fact that she's human by stealing a human egg from heaven and destroying it in public.
Create a voiceover using your own voice.
But why? She says it's to get rid of suspicion that she's human, even though we never see such suspicions. After all, if anybody did suspect her, all they'd have to do was nick her arm to check her blood, right? You could do the Thor thing with Loki and have a character shoot her in the head. And if she's human, she dies. But if she isn't, she'll be fine. There's no way anybody could hide their humanity in this world, right? Her trying to come up with this ridiculous roundabout plan to prove she's innocent should only make them more suspicious of her identity. Honestly, I don't understand why Mel is so desperate to be here. This place is disgusting and uninhabitable. Why would you want to live amongst a group of horrible murderers that will literally kill you just because of what you are? None of them sympathize with you.
Because that's literally her only family down there. Literally the only reason is because that's her only family. I don't think they want her up there. I don't think they want her up there for a reason.
At least except for Pot of Greed here. But why? Why does Ken actually care about her in a way the other crew members don't? He's apparently willing to kill anyone that finds out she's human, despite the fact that Mel is really selfish and constantly has her cover blown through carelessness or just straight up telling people. The only reason they had to kill Jack is because she was reading necrophilia porn in front of him and got a nosebleed. She's constantly demanding to be taken seriously, despite the fact that she's constantly getting everyone in trouble. The other two characters are basically filler, because every indie animated show needs to have a big cast for some reason. Zombie Man is just a sleazy gangster, and Breadhead is just a guy with a weird character design. That's it. You'd think that in 20 whole minutes you'd be able to develop these characters even a little bit, but most of it is this Teen Titans Go dialogue. Like, the show is insecure about maintaining your attention span without having the characters constantly moving and jumping all over the walls. But you can't fool me. I'm a zoomer. Mel's plan is to break into heaven because heaven and the angels are actually the bad guys.
Never heard that one before.
And the plan is so horrible, it makes me wonder how anyone chose to go along with it. In fact, she almost gets caught at the very beginning, but is saved by one of the guards suddenly deciding to kill his searching crew. I mean, it wouldn't be in the animation without having villains that can't do anything right. Then they do the thing where they steal uniforms from the guards and dispose of the bodies. But like, aren't those bodies gonna come back? That's like the whole thing with this show. Part of Mel's plan is for Zombie Man to sneak into the camera room without having villains that can't do anything right. Then they do the thing where they steal uniforms from the guards and dispose of the bodies. But like, aren't those bodies gonna come back? That's like the whole thing with the show. Part of Mel's plan is for Zombie Man to sneak into the camera room somehow and to kill the guard. Then later the guard comes back to life 5 minutes later and they're all surprised. The fact that Mel asks Ken if he's proud of this clown plan is insane. So Ken decides to change the plan and attack this random guy in the lab, which, like, what? He was the one telling Mel to be careful, but now he's going to ruin everything? We don't even know who this guy is, nor do we learn anything about him. Yet we're supposed to find this, what, cathartic? Cool? Yeah, this is cool. Oh man, I need a heater because this is too cool. Look at all the poses, the music, the animation. Isn't this all so cool? So is he gonna come back to life now, or does eating his brain count as permadeath? Why not just eat the brains of everyone you want to silence? Or is the next episode gonna start with him shitting the brain into a toilet? That'll be fun. Anyways, Mel gets to the egg, but not before reaching its terrifying guardian. Finally, a fight where she'll have to struggle and show her skills and why she deserves to get this...
Fuck.
Ah, shit. That intel.
No, Mel, that was good intel. This thing is so frail and old that you won't even have to try to steal the egg. In fact, it'll basically let you kill it. Doors will disappear and reappear to let you pass. Even when you fall off the ledge, everyone you need will be right there to catch you.
Do our pinky promises mean nothing to you?
No, man, you changed the plan. Anyways, they escape the pathetic heaven security and get back home where Ken gives a cringe edgelord monologue about killing humans before telling Mel to break the egg, where we're left with a cliffhanger. I think the biggest problem with most indie animated shows is that they expect us to already like these characters before we've even met them. We don't learn anything about BreadTube, Zombie...
Who is we? Oh. Bro. Who is we? There is no we in this. There's a you. You don't know nothing about a game. You don't understand the story, bro. Someone on your stream with you? Nah, no more. I'm still streaming myself. Hey, YouTube Shorts ain't gonna know. But nah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's just, this whole video is just a whole bunch of nitpicking though.
Guy or even Ken really outside of their intro scenes, yet the show acts like we're already familiar with all of them. Mel is a pretty insufferable character. She's stupid, impulsive, and entitled, yet she gets everything she wants from the story without even gaining a scratch. Well, she'll get injured, but those injuries just disappear when it's convenient for the plot. It might genuinely be the messiest pilot I've ever seen. It's worse than the Hazbin Hotel pilot, the Amazing Digital Circus pilot. It's worse than the Ramshackle pilot.
Losers like us. We're all we've got on this bitch of an earth, so.
And even even the Hell of a Boss pilot. Yet for some reason, this is seen as the best one. Of course, this isn't gonna be as bad as Hell of a Boss. It simply can't be. That show had 2 seasons to be terrible. This show only had 20 minutes. It's honestly amazing that the show is as bad as it is. Creating this many plot holes in one episode, assassinating such flat characters, these guys are pioneers. It's not like everything needs to be explained in one episode, but like, we need something. This episode is so inefficient, showing us only one relationship between 2 characters and establishing this villainous base of authoritarian angels that are too stupid to live. It's such hacky writing to constantly paint a villain with religious imagery just so that you can say that they're too entitled and stupid, unlike our base protagonists who are clever and cool despite being a bunch of degenerates. Just because you told me they're evil doesn't make them the bad guys. If you want to come up with a cool character design for your villains, how about coming up with your own ideas? I mean, you could have explored this strange world by focusing on developing the unique social challenges and problems these characters would have to face living in a world where no one can die, but instead they just wrote about the same thing they always do, a class dispute where evil oppressors are trying to prevent people from expressing themselves. These people don't know how to write about anything but themselves. I'm honestly kind of tired of every indie animated show being some cynical postmodernist view on reality. Why can't they ever write a story about good people? Or if you're gonna write a story about bad people, acknowledge that they're bad guys. Why can't we get something that tries to be beautiful instead of constantly being disgusting?
Quite literally, Murder Jones is a show. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Stay with me. Murder Jones is quite literally a show where the main characters are the good guys. Aside from like 3. Aside from like 3, 4 of the main characters are literally good guys. 4 of them. 4. 4 of them. TADC. They're literally like neutral. They're neutral characters, not even bad or good guys. What else? Ramshackle. They're just normal people. They're just normal people. He grouped one pilot with every single one. The thing I think he just hates Hazbin Hotel and shows that are similar to it. That's it. That's all I'm getting here. That's all I'm getting here.
Something that can be uplifting and inspiring rather than just another depressing deconstruction of humanity that only exists to tell us how horrible we are. It's not difficult to point out the flaws in something. Rafe, you shouldn't criticize indie animation so harshly. At that point, what even is indie animation? Is it indie to have a popular channel with tens of millions of subscribers, billions of views, dozens of animators on payroll, producers, supervisors, and, being on Netflix and Amazon Prime? To me, indie animation was always about one guy running on passion to make a story real. It was a place where people were allowed to compete based on skill rather than money, showing off their skills to make things we didn't usually see on TV. We used to get entire stories within a single short video that had likable characters we might get to see again someday. But nowadays, indie animation is a bloated, saturated, and overproduced nightmare, making videos that are unsustainable, forcing themselves to reach the 20-minute mark to give themselves the appearance of professionalism, while also giving us a story that's the animated equivalent of DLC. Incomplete stories made to trick us into watching more until they get bored and give us a half-assed ending. I have no problem with a small team becoming an official organization, but I'm tired of them masquerading as indie animation just to encourage fan support out of some sort of virtue. They have zero respect for the writing process, yet they claim to be these precious artists whose vision must be protected from evil producers. But the reality is that any of the characters from Alan Becker's videos have more development in a single video than any VipsyPop or Glitch production character has ever had. Meat Canyon's videos are able to show disgusting and horrifying imagery that is infinitely more creative and meaningful than anything in Gaslight District. Or hell, watch the best of Smashbits animations or old Senor Pello videos and see how many jokes they managed to fit into every scene. We never needed an indie animation renaissance. We were already there. But these people get to take the credit by giving us nothing in return other than the excuse that they're new and still getting used to it. These people have told us they'd improve.
Quite literally. Because they're not indie. You could have made you could have made an animation Dark Age. Period. It didn't have to be indie animation, but that's what got the clicks. That's what gets the clicks. So it's not that indie animation. It's not that we're in an indie animation Dark Age. It's just you're nitpicking on what we consider a Dark Age animation. Period. Not indie animation, it's animation, period.
Prove over time, but after 7 years of this garbage dominating the market, I think it's pretty clear. This is not a matter of inexperience. These people are talentless. And the thing that annoys me the most is seeing other YouTubers say, well, the problem with the show is that it has bad pacing. Bad pacing is not a problem. It's the symptom of multiple problems. People said the same thing about Hazbin Hotel, as if the problem with that show is that it was too good. Dispel the delusion from your mind that Vivian Medrano's biggest problem is that she has too many good ideas. I hope that people understand that when I say this stuff, it's not because I want to see these shows fail. It's because I love indie animation, and I want it to stay relevant as a space that encourages creativity, and these shows are killing people's interest. These people claim they're revolutionizing animation, but what have they made so far? We got 2 shows that are so bad they've been ridiculed off the internet. We have a show that's about to be ridiculed in a few episodes, a bunch of shows that are never going to be finished, and a completed show that no one cares about. We are in the indie animation Dark Age. I can assure you that 3 or 4 episodes in, Gaslight District will be just as...
No. We're not just gonna say that about my show game. Murder Joe. No one cares about Murder Jones, twin. You serious right now, bro? Nobody cares? Nobody? Absolutely zero, none, nada. Oh, big fat goose egg. Nobody cares about the show. Literally, people were literally angry at the fact that the show ended. The whole fan base. Every time a Murder Jones episode ended, people were literally begging it for more. Not even a full episode, just teasers. I feel like that uncle, bro. I feel like that uncle.
Dana Terrace. Dana Terrace? You're getting your hopes up on the person that wrote The Owl House? But Rafe, she wrote Gravity Falls. She didn't write it, she storyboarded. And that was like 10 years ago. After The Owl House, she's definitely cooked. I'm gonna put that show under things that deserve their full video later on, because I'm tired of so many animated things getting away with being so terrible. We all deserve better than this. And now that I'm finally back, I'm gonna have some fun making sure we get it. That's all I got for this video. Goodbye!
This is a big video. No. The Superman movie is really... Yeah, he does this on purpose. Yeah, he's a rage baiter. Yeah, this is what he does. I ain't gonna lie, you go to the game. You mad go to... Hey, Mom.
This is Pod 5, the first fully immersive sleep system. Intelligent, adaptive, effortless. It doesn't replace your bed, it transforms it. Pod 5 listens and responds to your needs in real time.
There is more high-quality content available than ever before, and yet most people feel like they're...
All right. So, right now, we're going to get into The Death of Mainstream by Patrick CC, one of the best commentary YouTubers of all time. All right. Ready? Here we go.
There is more high-quality content available than ever before, and yet most people feel like they're is something missing. There was once a time where it felt like we were all on the same wavelength when it came to entertainment and pop culture. Everything felt more impactful. Movies were bigger. Music spread further. Famous people were actually famous. Awards meant something. And if there was a shocking story in the news, it was impossible to miss. It was much easier to have your finger on the pulse of pop culture, and it created this bond that we had together as strangers. And we took it for granted, because now that that bond is gone, the world of entertainment, music, movies, shows, social media feels oversaturated, confusing, and dull. I bet most of you can relate to this. How many times these days does someone say to you, "Hey," and not only is your answer no, but you literally have no idea what they are talking about. Life wasn't always like that. What we are missing today and for the past few years is a monoculture, which is essentially one culture that all Americans are connected to. Sometimes I even call it the death of mainstream, because nothing really feels mainstream anymore. Every decade had their own version of monoculture that was seemingly easily defined. But what will define the 2020s? Monoculture is dead. And for anyone watching this that's like a teenager or younger, it means nothing because they can't relate to that experience. But literally anyone older than that remembers their version of monoculture and probably misses it because it represents a much more simple time. Every generation before Gen Alpha had limited options for entertainment, and they thought it was a burden, flipping through TV channels saying, "Oh, there's nothing to watch." But now
Y'all ever hold on. Crazy. Y'all ever been watching cable, and when one show goes off, y'all switch it to a whole nother channel until the commercial comes off? On God, bro. No lie. That was everybody did it. Everybody used to do it. As soon as the show go off, you go to the guy to switch to the next channel. When it goes to the commercial, you switch to the next channel. Go to the commercial, you switch to the next channel. And it will always be some horror shows too. Dexter's Laboratory. Hold on. Gravity Falls. Then if that wasn't on, then you go switch to Cartoon Network. Regular show, Gumball. Man, cable was peak back then, I ain't gonna lie.
options are infinite. 3.7 million YouTube videos uploaded every day. One streaming service with every song ever made and 100,000 new songs being uploaded every day. Dozens of subscription services with thousands of movies and TV shows. A literal endless singular feed of short-form videos that one can spend hours without realizing the time has passed. And despite having access to all of this content, a lot of us feel bored and disconnected from each other. Well, today I want to talk about that feeling like something is missing. I believe it is tied to the death of monoculture. So let's dive into how we got here, where it went wrong, and actually why some of you might consider it to be a good thing. Entertainment has always evolved based on the available technology. The easier it is to consume, the less impactful it is. Movie theater ticket sales had their all-time peak in the US in 1946. Over 90 million weekly admissions were recorded, which means that about 60% of the US population went to go see a movie that year. Now, were movies objectively better in 1946? Absolutely not. There were just less of them, and less entertainment overall. The introduction of the television likely slowed down movie ticket sales, but opened up a whole new opportunity for entertainment. Cartoons, sitcoms, and of course, ads. You've probably never heard of Spokeo, Truthfinder, or Been Verified, but they've definitely heard of you. These are data brokers willing to pay. They provide reports like this that have information about you, including your contact info, address, your relatives, and maybe even what car you drive. This stuff isn't just floating around by accident. It's being packaged, indexed, and sold legally, called the TV Guide, to figure out when they were going to air a rerun. Plus, there were only a few channels, so competition for attention was fierce. But that also meant that millions of people were watching the same thing at the same time. With most households operating on 9-to-5 work schedules, the only time carved out to entertain yourself was between 7 and 10. This was known as prime.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI.
time, and that's when the few good shows were on. Families watched the same things together, and a new episode airing at 8 p.m. on a weeknight could dominate school hallways and office break rooms the next day. Worst case scenario, you could stay up for late night television where Letterman would catch you up on all your pop culture news. We were connected as humans, kind of operating on the same wavelength, and the entertainment added to our humanity. That is, unless you were entirely disinterested from the few available shows and movies, then you had no other options, your life sucked, and you were looking for other forms of entertainment like heroin. But at least back then, it didn't have fentanyl in it. But the way people consumed movies and televisions stayed relatively the same for decades. By the 1970s, 95% of households had a TV in it. And then in the 80s and 90s, there was a massive uptick in available entertainment, like an entire TV channel dedicated to showing music videos or an entire channel dedicated to showing cartoons. But even with more niche options, primetime shows still dominated pop culture, and America still felt a sense of togetherness through a somewhat limited availability. Is music not hitting the same anymore? Doesn't it feel like you used to have a connection with others based on a shared love for the same music? Well, music had a similar permeating connection to monoculture with a few key differences. For most of the 20th century, music was somewhat of a luxury. Today, for $15 a month, you can get access to every song ever made and 100,000 new ones uploaded daily. $15 used to get you one album, and you had to take your happy ass to a record store and fit.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I'm being real, bro, it's not worth it. Spotify's not worth it. I'm not paying $15 a month to listen to music that I can listen to free on SoundCloud. Why am I paying to listen to music? Why am I paying to listen to music? Yeah, it might sound better. I don't care. I'm gonna listen to it on SoundCloud. I'm gonna listen to the song on SoundCloud, bro. Give me ads. I don't care, but please don't make me search for a song. And when I click on the song that I search on, it doesn't play. What? Why do I have to play? Why do I have to pay for the song that I search up to play? Why am I having to pay for a basic privilege in a artist app, in a music app? That kills me. I don't understand that. I still don't understand that. I don't know how is that possible? That's just killing me.
Physically buy it. And if the album was in high enough demand, they might not actually have it. And that seems like a dumb thing to say, but in our modern culture, entertainment is never not available to you. These stores often had a strong sense of community and served as a gathering place for music fans. It was unusual for artists to stop in and play mini concerts or sign albums before an appearance in a particular city. When people bought an album, they were now invested. They worked hard for that money. So to get the value back, they actually listened to the whole thing. They even tried to like the songs that they didn't initially like because they paid for it, which ultimately made them appreciate the artistry on a different depth. This uninterrupted focus on the music built a deeper connection from the fans to the artist. Fans had to imagine what their favorite musicians were like based on lyrics, a few interviews, and carefully staged photographs in magazines or posters on their wall. There was a mystique. Pop stars felt larger than life, almost like fictional characters, which is why people would pass out at the mere sight of Michael Jackson. Today we have countless interviews and endless
I'm not gonna lie. You gotta go back. This dude right here, this clip alone, crazy frame.
Pop stars felt larger than life, almost like fictional characters, which is why people would pass out at the mere sight of Michael Jackson. And today we have countless.
Bro, Michael Jackson, bro, dude, he didn't even have to perform. Michael Jackson didn't even have to perform. He would come on stage, sit there, and people would pass out. And then the next day they'd say, yeah, I'll pay for that. Oh, how much is the ticket? $5,000. And I'll pay for it again. I don't care. I saw Michael Jackson. I don't care if I passed out. He noticed me. But that's MJ. And I ain't talking about the one that played basketball. My fault. That was not it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Characters, which is why people would pass out at the mere sight of Michael Jackson. We have countless interviews and endless access to all of their thoughts and opinions on social media. That mystery is gone. Artists are more accessible than ever, and because of that, they feel less special. And since music was basically a luxury, most people didn't have tons of disposable income to buy every release they wanted to listen to. So they typically resorted to listening to the radio or watching MTV. You couldn't just search your favorite Guns N' Roses song and get that instant gratification. You had to turn on MTV and just wait for it to come on, but in the meantime, you were consuming tons of other good songs that made you a more well-rounded music listener. And that's the same predicament for everyone. So at school dances, parties, or clubs, everyone felt connected because the songs that were being played were the ones that everyone had the same access to. A lot of club DJs today still mostly play music from the 2010s, and a lot of people wonder why they aren't playing more modern.
If you've ever taken simply because more modern music isn't getting, not everybody listens to the same music nowadays, because music is very subjective now. Music is very subjective now.
Music, like, are we all crippled by necessarily? But when you play music from the 2010s, you can kind of guarantee that everyone in the club is going to know those songs. Whereas today, everyone just listens to vastly different music. What's considered extremely popular and mainstream to you might literally not be considered extremely popular and mainstream to the person next to you. Today, we have unlimited access to every song ever made. When a new song or album drops, it is just right there in your phone. You don't have to talk to anyone, don't have to buy it, don't have to wait. Most of the time, the artist is actually begging you to listen to it, or you accidentally found out about it. You didn't even want to discover it. Most people have resorted to just letting the algorithm decide what music to recommend to them because it's easier than doing all of the effort I just talked about before. Combine this lack of mono connectivity through music, requiring absolutely no effort to get access to the music, as well as artists not having the star power due to overexposure and surprise, music holds absolutely no value to the average casual listener. Once we entered the 2000s, the rapid advancement of available technology caused a dominant monoculture to become more fragmented. TVs were becoming cheaper, bigger, and higher quality. The internet was getting faster, becoming easier to access and navigate. Cell phones were in everyone's pocket. We were becoming more connected than ever, but we didn't realize it was actually going to drive us further apart. In my opinion, 2000 to 2010 was a great sweet spot for pop culture. I would describe today's culture as everything all at once. And the early 2000s was the same, but it was slightly more manageable. Let's start simple. Movies. Here's a graph of every movie released per year around the world. You can see the quantity of movies released remained relatively the same from the early 1970s to the late 1990s, and it just started slowly ramping up in the 2000s before it exponentially exploded. Back then, there was a rhythm to it all. You'd get 2 or 3 massive blockbusters every summer, movies like Spider-Man, Pirates of the Caribbean, or The Dark Knight, which dominated culture for weeks. As fall and winter rolled in, you'd see smaller budget, more experimental, or just simple films rise to the surface. Movies like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and Requiem for a Dream. Everyone kind of knew what was coming. Predictability created a shared sense of anticipation. Even smaller budget films had a shot at becoming massive. And the reason they had a shot was because people actually went to the theaters. Our last peak in movie theater ticket sales was in 2002 when 1.5 billion tickets were sold. But even if you didn't go to the theater, we had these really cool things called DVDs where you could buy the movie that you missed and watch it at home. And if you didn't want to commit to buying it, no worries. You could rent the film for a few bucks by going to this magical place called Blockbuster. This is a store where you could essentially browse all of the movies that you didn't get the chance to see. You would actually talk to the employee who worked there, and they would give you a recommendation or tell you what everyone else is renting. Sometimes a movie was in such high demand that all of their copies would be rented and couldn't get it. Imagine that. Imagine any form of entertainment being unavailable for you today. Scarcity created demand, and it made the film more exciting, made you want to watch it more. Most of those crap.
If there was like a good movie and everybody's talking about it, and I go to buy me a DVD of it, and they're all sold out, I'd be so tight, bro. Because the only way that I can actually get access to this, probably like a low price, a very good deal, if all of them are gone, might as well just go home and go to sleep, bro. Ain't no reason. Ain't no reason to watch nothing else.
Be yet special early 2000 comedy perfect films to pick up at a blockbuster, and people love that. The company earned $5 billion in revenue in 2004. The point is that you and everyone around you had this physical connection to the entertainment and was actively using their brain to choose what they wanted to consume. TV still had a somewhat similar rhythm in the 2000s. Primetime was still valuable airtime. TV was in its best era, in my opinion, having a plethora of terrible yet oddly captivating reality TV shows and experimental series, while still having their sister network, MTV2, play music videos 24/7. It was one of the most versatile eras for mainstream music, with lyrical rap, crunk rap, rock, emo rock, country, pop, EDM, R&B, and countless other genres in a healthy rotation on MTV and the radio. It was just on the cusp of being overwhelming, but having it all contained on MTV and VH1 made it still manageable to keep up with. Kids were absolutely consumed by Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, Cartoon Network, which were 3 separate networks that each had 2 to 3 shows worth paying attention to in their respective eras. We still had a healthy separation between our personal lives and our school and work life from 9 to 5, only entertaining ourselves lightly in the morning and in the evenings. We didn't have a phone to...
Top 3 TV shows at Nickelodeon. Lock me in. 1, first place. Top three Nickelodeon TV shows. Invader Zim. Hold on. Lock me in. Invader Zim. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And SpongeBob don't count. I'm gonna give you some ball notes. Listen. Rocko's Modern Life. Yeah, Rocko's Modern Life. Yeah, that's a great lineup though. I'll actually maybe Kung Fu Panda, Legends of Awesomeness. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That was, oh my god, that was P television, bro. I'd be in my grandma room, watch TV, turn the TV on, and I straight up only watch that. Only thing I watched when it came on. Nothing else, bro.
Distract us from literally every millisecond of boredom. The entertainment options still felt limited enough that you could feel like everyone around you was on the same wavelength. Plus, we were still at the mercy of knowing the schedule of when new shows were going to air. But that started to die when cable companies provided DVR capabilities. You could now record your favorite shows and movies and watch them later whenever you wanted. This was the beginning of the streaming service era takeover that so many people today loathe. Today, you may feel like you aren't as connected to the culture because 1, less people are going to the theaters, and 2, the DVD and TV business has been demolished by streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, etc. Being able to stream anything, anywhere, anytime, all while being alone in your room means there's no anticipation, no excitement, nobody to share the experience with, and therefore no real reason to watch, which is why you simply scroll and scroll through endless choices, waiting for something to magically grab your attention, waiting for something to give you a reason to watch, but it just never happens. On a lighter note, every now and again, we do have a monoculture moment. I think back to the Barbie movie where girls were excited to dress in all pink and drag their boyfriends to the theaters, only for the guys to immediately after drag their girls to see Oppenheimer, where I'm assuming many of them fell asleep. I think back to Squid Games, where it felt like everyone and their mother was blindsided by this dystopian critique of capitalism disguised as a game show. As
producers, this plugin helps you finish your tracks way faster. Check this out. I'm going to start with this loop that I made here.
As far as films go, it feels like it's only every couple of years where there is a moment that we are all in sync, when it used to be literally all year, every year. I can't even remember the last time music had a monoculture moment. I mean, sure, radio is still kind of relevant. TikTok made popular songs more popular, but there's so much music all over the place all the time that I don't even know what anybody's listening to anymore. For TV, Yellowstone, Severance, Lotus, Love Island. I mean, they are extremely popular, but can we say everyone is watching those shows? Will those shows define this era? I bet there are a ton of you watching that are like, I didn't watch a single one of those. The irony of it all is that the death of a unified culture everyone seems to be feeling came with our pursuit to be more connected than ever before, because the adaptation of the internet and social media into our everyday lives was the nail in the coffin for monoculture. By the turn of the century, everyone with extra cash had a computer somewhere in the house. Our parents were using them to basically replace what the newspaper did for decades. As the desktops and internet connection got faster, we looked at forums, chatted through AOL Instant Messenger, played simple flash games on Newgrounds, and even bid on random antiques from eBay. Being connected to random people all over the world was beautiful. You were no longer limited to the thoughts, beliefs, and interests of those in your geographical location. The internet was still somewhat difficult to navigate. You know, there was a time when Google didn't have all the answers. You had to check other search engines like Yahoo and my favorite, Ask Jeeves, to find what you were looking for. Videos would take forever to load. Quality was awful.
Ask who? Ask who? Ask Jeeves? What is Ask Jeeves?
Often terrible and sometimes just straight up didn't work. Using the internet kind of felt like exploring uncharted land. That friction, scarcity, and lack of instant gratification was what made it special. It was worth working for. Today, we just expect things to work. Demand convenience, and we're willing to give up our human autonomy for it. Initially, the entertainment industry as a whole saw the internet as a threat because of piracy. Suddenly, millions of people could download movies, music, and TV shows for free through networks like Napster, LimeWire, and torrent sites, completely bypassing traditional revenue models. Studios, labels, and networks feared the collapse of their business.
Boy, y'all too old. Boy, y'all old and dirt. Boy, y'all 3 old. Huh? Ma'am? Yeah.
Business structures, as physical sales and TV deals were at the risk of being replaced. The internet stripped them of control, and for the first time, the consumer had the power to access content without paying a cent. From the consumer's perspective, the logic was simple. Why pay for something when you can get it for free instantly? Piracy wasn't just about being cheap, it was about convenience. Buying a CD or DVD meant going to a store, spending 10 to 20 bucks, and hoping you'd like the full album movie. Then again, people didn't realize the nuanced value of the additional human experiences they got while consuming entertainment. All that driving to the store, talking to people, limited inventory, sitting on a sticky theater seat, that was all just considered to be an inconvenient cost to getting what you wanted. You couldn't argue against the value that the internet brought to individuals. It gave everyone a voice, a platform, and endless options tailored exactly to their preferences. And that ramped up significantly into social media. By 2005, the platform had around 300 million users and had an estimated valuation of over $10 billion. The platform allowed people to share their personal passions and stories as individuals. If nobody in your real life aligned with your interests, you would be able to find a community of like-minded people online. People started calling random strangers on the internet their friends. They became invested in their lives, wanting to know what they were doing in their geographical location.
But people still do this today now anyways. Yeah, the same thing still happens today.
Your connection to random people around the world started to make you disconnected from those physically around you. Slowly, the digital world began to feel more important important than the physical one. As platforms evolved, first with Facebook, then Instagram, and eventually TikTok, the focus shifted even further away from a shared experience and towards personal branding. Algorithms were designed not to connect people as a whole, but to keep you personally engaged, feeding you content you already agreed with or found entertaining. The internet became less of a town square and more of an echo chamber, reflecting only your own tastes, beliefs, and biases back at you, just so you wouldn't click off the app. Social media stopped being about community and became a stage where everyone was the main character of their own story. It made individuals feel more powerful than ever, which could be considered a good thing, but it also created a cultural landscape more narcissistic, divisive, and isolated than any era in history. So the reason why movies, TV, YouTube, social media, and literally all other forms of entertainment don't feel the same is a combination of really complicated nuances. However, with a shift, strong-minded individual, introverted, or just someone who doesn't really care about a sense of community and those around you, you are in the golden ages. For decades, if you didn't fit into the narrow lens of what the mainstream deemed valuable, if you didn't like the biggest pop star or wear the right clothes or relate to the 5 TV shows everyone else watched, you were invisible. You had nowhere to go. You were the weird kid, the quiet one, the one who didn't belong.
Who? Not me. Not me.
Turn your best idea.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Patrick. I have no
But
idea what
now
you're
the
talking
internet
about,
gives you infinite
Absolutely.
options to find belonging. And literally any interest you may have, no matter how unique it is, chances are there is a niche community where someone like you isn't just accepted, you're celebrated. Do you like wolves eating watermelons? So do 61,000 other people. Do you like stapling bread to trees? So do 335,000 other people. Today, a girl who was once mocked in school for drawing anime characters in her notebook can become a full-time artist with a fan base of thousands, millions.
That's great. Hey, bro, that's a W. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy to see. I think I've seen the Blue Lock TikTok before.
A kid who was laughed at for making weird songs on his cracked BandLab app can go viral on TikTok and then chart on the Spotify Viral 50. A filmmaker with no connections and no budget can put their short film on YouTube and have it resonate with millions of people around the world. These stories were impossible in the monoculture era because the gatekeepers decided what was and wasn't. Before the internet, independence was next to impossible, and today the gatekeepers have less power than ever. So maybe entertainment feels more chaotic, more overwhelming, and less special. Maybe we are no longer all connected under a simple, easy to navigate monoculture, but there is more opportunity than ever.
Maybe that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's a good thing. That's why it's a good thing. It's a good thing that everything isn't all bundled up together because it gives people more individuality.
For a small independent creator to get a taste of that success. And for consumers, if you know what your interests are and do not let algorithms decide what you want to watch and are willing to do the tedious task to actively get outside of the echo chamber that these algorithms are trying to hold you in and find that one quality YouTuber or that one underrated Hulu series, you are probably completely fine with today's entertainment climate. Build your own world. Who cares about community? This is your life. Now, I personally go back and forth on my feelings towards the death of monoculture. I don't personally feel drowned out in content. Since I have terrible movie and TV taste, I will watch just about anything as long as there is a decent premise for the plot. As far as music goes, I am totally willing to put in the grind to find my new favorite artist. And I'm actually one of those annoying people who kind of starts to dislike someone when they get more famous. So I actively look for underrated talent, and Spotify and social media makes that a million times easier and more convenient. But at the same time, I do miss that sense of monoculture. I play a lot of golf, and when I meet new people, I've had countless conversations that lead nowhere because we have absolutely nothing in common due to being stuck in totally different algorithmic echo chambers. Sometimes the golfers don't even watch golf. So I'm just like, How's the weather? And obviously, I'm a creator, so I'm benefiting from a system that was created for me to succeed. And because of my feelings going back and forth, my channel is somewhat a reflection of the lack of and yearning for an entertainment monoculture. My YouTube channel is kind of like a 2000s MTV-inspired hodgepodge of modern pop culture. Firstly, I'm reliable, posting every Monday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And every week, we talk about something pop culture related. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's film, sometimes it's internet personalities, sometimes it's a comedian, action sports star, politics. The modern YouTube algorithm wants you to keep making the same video over and over with the same thumbnails and dominate one specific niche, which is why you see so many successful channels being repetitive, because that is literally what works. I try to keep a balance. And because of that, some videos get more views than others, some videos bomb, but I hope you enjoy me keeping that old early 2000s variety.
Great video from Patrick CC. Man, this dude is the GOAT of commentary YouTube. No lie. But that's it. Almost 2 hours of streaming. I'm not gonna sit here for 2 minutes doing nothing. I'm gonna dip. See y'all. What day is it? Sunday? I'll see y'all probably Friday. Maybe Friday. Friday, Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. All day, yeah, yeah. 25